Three students are discussing experiences with peer tutoring at university.
I've actually had a really good experience with peer tutoring. Last semester, I was struggling with advanced calculus, and my tutor really helped me get concepts I just couldn't understand from lectures. They explained things in a way that made so much more sense to me, kind of like translating what professors say into everyday student language. It really helped my confidence in that subject.
That's great to hear. I was actually a peer tutor for an intro programming course last year, and it was surprisingly good for me too. Teaching someone else really makes you understand the material better yourself. I found myself going back to review things I thought I already knew, just so I could explain them clearly.
Speaker 13. I'm a bit more unsure about formal peer tutoring. I've always found it more helpful to just study with friends or classmates and explain things to each other if someone's jar stuck. It feels less like a formal lesson and more like working together. And there's less pressure to perform for someone who's officially tutoring you.
I can see your point about the pressure, but I think the way formal peer tutoring is set up is what made it so effective for me. We had specific sessions, and the tutor had been trained on how to teach. With friends, it can sometimes just turn into complaining about how hard the subject is instead of actually breaking down the problem step by step.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I've just always preferred that informal, flexible way. When I'm learning with friends, I feel more comfortable saying what I don't know without feeling judged. Plus, if we get stuck, we can all look for answers together, or just take a break, which you might not feel as comfortable doing in more formal setting.
From the tutor's side, it can also be tricky to balance. You want to guide them, but you can't just give them the answers or do their work for them. I had a few students who just wanted me to tell them what to write, and I had to learn how to gently push them towards finding the solution themselves. It's a fine line to walk sometimes.
That's a really good point, Chris. I think the key is finding the right peer tutor who knows how to help you learn, not just give you answers. It's not just about knowing the subject. It's also about being able to teach it well and change your approach for different learning styles. Some subjects might also work better with it than others. That's a really good point, Chris. I think the key is finding the right peer tutor who knows how to help you learn, not just give you answers. It's not just about knowing the subject. It's also about being able to teach it well and change your approach for different learning styles. Some subjects might also work better with it than others.
Absolutely. Some students learn well with visual explanations, others need to write things out, and some just need to talk through it. Changing your approach quickly is a challenge, especially when you're also a student with your own studies. It really showed how different learning can be.
So I guess it really comes down to what you prefer and how good the program or the person is. If you find a good match, whether it's formal or informal, it can be super helpful. It's definitely a good thing to have when you are struggling, no matter how you get it.
3 students are discussing choosing university electives at university.
I'm so stressed about picking my electives for next semester. There are just so many, and I don't want to choose something I'll regret. You know? I mean, it's a whole semester. It's hard to know if something's going to be interesting or useful until you're actually in the class. I've also heard some electives have way more work than others, which I definitely want to avoid. Has anyone else started thinking about this?
Yeah, I've been looking at the list. It's pretty overwhelming, right? I'm trying to find something that goes well with my major but isn't too much work. I'm thinking about that intro to film studies class. It sounds kind of fun and might be a nice break from all the technical stuff. Plus, I heard the professor is really good, which makes a big difference. What about you, Laura?
I'm so torn. I need to pick something that'll help my career, but also keep me interested. I was thinking about taking a business analytics course because it seems pretty useful and in demand right now. The thing is, I'm not sure if I'll find it interesting, you know? I don't want to get stuck in a class I hate going to every week. It's such a big commitment.
That sounds cool. I hadn't really thought about the interdisciplinary ones. Maybe I should look more widely. I'm also a little worried about the workload. Have you guys looked into what the assignments are like for any of these? I've heard some electives have tons of reading or group projects, and I really want to avoid that if I can. I already have enough to do with my major.
Good point, Charlie. Workload is definitely a big deal. I heard the business analytics course I mentioned has a huge group project, which I'm not too happy about. Maybe I should look into something more individual. I saw a creative writing elective that could be fun and a good way to chill out. Plus, it might help me get better at communicating, which is always useful no matter what job I get.
Creative writing sounds amazing. I've always wanted to try it. Maybe we could take it together? It would be fun to know someone in the class. As for the environmental policy course, I think I'll try to talk to some students who have taken it before to get a better idea of how much work it is and what the professor is like. That might help me decide.
That's a great idea, Sarah. Talking to other students is always a good move. I think I'll do some more research on the film studies class and see if I can find any reviews online. If it seems doable and the professor is good, I'll probably go for it. I think a little fun and relaxation is exactly what I need next semester.
Okay, I'm officially changing my mind. I'm going to focus on what I'm interested in, not just what's good for my career. I'll check out the creative writing course and maybe a few others that sound fun. Thanks for the help, guys. It's good to know I'm not the only one stressing about this. Good luck with your choices.
3 students are discussing getting help during office hours at university.
I'm finding it so hard to, really get the most out of office hours. I mean, I go, but sometimes I feel like I'm not even asking the right questions. You know? Like, I'm missing something basic before I can even say what I need help with. It's kind of intimidating, especially when there are other students waiting.
I get that. I think a lot of students feel the same way. The problem is, office hours are often scheduled right when you have another class, or you are just, totally exhausted after a long day. It's hard to be prepared. I end up just showing up hoping the professor can, magically figure out what I'm struggling with.
Maybe we should try to be more prepared before we go? Actually write down specific questions or problems we are working on. That way, we won't waste time trying to figure out what to ask. It could make the whole thing easier for us and the professor. Plus, it'll probably make us feel less nervous, too.
That's a good idea, Arya. I've also heard that some professors are easier to talk to than others. Maybe we should try to find out which professors are known for being helpful and patient during office hours. It might make a big difference in how comfortable we feel asking questions. And, maybe go when it's not so busy.
True. I've definitely felt rushed during office hours when the professor is, super busy. Maybe we could also try to work together before going to office hours. Form a small study group where we can, brainstorm questions and work through problems together. Then, we can go to the professor with better questions.
I like that. A study group could really help. And maybe we should also think about using other stuff besides just office hours. Like the tutoring center or online forums. Sometimes, getting a different way of seeing things can make all the difference. It's not just about the professor,
Yeah, that's a really good point, Arya. Sometimes, I feel like I'm only thinking about getting the professor's approval, but there are actually tons of other things we could use. We should definitely try harder to check those out. It's about, taking charge of our own learning.
Okay, so next time, let's try to get specific questions ready, check out other resources, and maybe even get together beforehand too. Brainstorm. I think that would really help us use office hours better. Plus, it'll make us feel more confident too.
Sounds like a plan. We could even schedule study session every week before office hours. That way, we are all on the same page and can help each other out. Let's make getting help during office hours less scary and more useful. I'm in.
3 students are discussing online versus in-person classes at university.
Honestly, I think online classes are just way more convenient, especially if you have a part-time job. You can totally fit your lectures around your own schedule, and there's no wasted time commuting at all. Plus, it's great if you like learning on your own, cause you really have to be disciplined.
Yeah, I get why it's convenient, but I really miss the in-person stuff. Like, it's so much easier to just ask questions straight away in a lecture, and group discussions feel way more natural face-to-face. And also, the vibe on campus just feels more, helpful for learning.
Yeah, I totally agree with Liam. I mean, online is flexible, but I've just found it really hard to stay focused sometimes, There are just so many distractions at home, and I feel a bit, cut off from my classmates and teachers. It's super easy to fall behind if you are not always checking emails and those platforms.
That's a fair point about distractions. But honestly, for me, the flexibility is just way more important. I can rewatch lectures if I miss something, which, you can't do in a live class. And also, for quieter students, being able to join online forums can be way less scary than speaking up in a big lecture hall.
Yeah, rewatching lectures is definitely a big plus. But I also feel like you really miss out on those spontaneous chats and, meeting people on campus. Those informal talks after class or in the library are super valuable for making connections and understanding different viewpoints,
Exactly. The social side is just huge, isn't it? University isn't just about, the lessons, it's about the whole experience. You can build study groups way more easily, and getting immediate feedback, or if you need something explained, it's just simpler when you're in the same room as your professor.
I guess, hybrid model might be the best idea then. You could have some lectures online for flexibility, but keep workshops, labs, and tutorials in person. That way, we get the best of both worlds without completely losing out on the campus experience.
I totally agree with that. For me, just being on campus, even for a few days a week, makes a huge difference to my motivation and how much I get involved. It's hard to beat that feeling of being part of a really lively university community,
Okay, so we are all set for our presentation next week, right? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I've started drafting my slides, but I'm not sure if I'm focusing on the right things, I'm also worried about the time limit. It's tough to get everything into just 10 minutes. Has anyone got any tips for, like, how to structure it well?
Definitely. I think the key thing is to start with a really good opening that grabs everyone's attention. Then, break your main points down into smaller chunks, easier to handle. Don't try to put too much stuff on each slide. I think using visuals, like graphs or images, really helps keep people interested. And the most important thing is practice, practice. You don't want to be, like, stumbling over your words on the day.
I agree with Liam about practicing for sure. I usually record myself giving the presentation, and then I watch it back to see where I can make it better. It's awful, but it really does help. For the content, I think it's good to start by outlining your main arguments, even before you make the slides. What's the main thing you are trying to say? It's easy to get lost in the details, but that'll help you stay on track.
That's a really good idea. Laura, about doing the outline first. I usually just jump right into the details, and then I have trouble making it all make sense together. I'm also a bit nervous about the Q part afterwards. What if I don't know an answer? Any ideas on how to get ready for that?
The queue is tricky, but you can get ready. Think about the questions people might ask and have some answers ready, even if they're just rough. It's also okay to say you don't know, but you'll find out. Being honest is always best. Just try to, engage with them and show that you are thinking about the topic. Don't freak out if you get stuck, it happens to everyone.
I actually think the Q&A is the most fun. It's a chance to really talk with the audience and show how much you care about the topic. Going along with what Liam said, it's totally fine to say, "That's a great question, but I don't really have a good answer right now." You could even ask the audience what they think. It's a conversation, not, like, a test.
Okay, I feel a bit better now. Thanks. You too. I think I'll try to make a really good outline and practice how I'm going to say it. I'll also try to think of some questions they might ask, but I won't worry about it too much. I guess the main thing is to be ready, but also be able to change if I need to and, enjoy it. That's easier said than done, though.
You've got this, Sarah. We are all in the same boat. Just remember to breathe and try to have fun. It's a great chance to share what you know and get some feedback. Plus, giving presentations is a really good skill to have for jobs later, so think of it as practice for after university.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. We can all practice our presentations together and, give each other feedback. It's much easier when you know people are there for you. Let's try to meet up again before the presentation to go over everything one last time.
Thank you for watching this video, will help you a lot, and subscribe our channel Vital PTE Academy to see more education related videos of PTE Academy. I will meet you in next video.